morning, my outrageous ones. How are you today? I hope this day finds you well and fine. It is the end of the month, and I am going to be talking about how I did with my June bucket list. I had 4 blog posts on my bucket list, and I did one blog post. What is that? About the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Yeah, well, 1 blog post. So I have only to go up with this one. Lose 4 pounds? Didn't lose 1. Not 1. Not 1 pound left this person. Not at all. 4 books read? I actually read 6. I read Retire Inspired because I retired this year from my job as a librarian. Sick Puppy. Carl Hiassen's one of my favorites. He never fails to crack me up with his dark humor. The Summer of Bad Ideas, which is a tween middle school type book because I have a project with another friend of mine that we're doing with that book. Be Fearless. The Shell Seekers. I read The Shell Seekers every summer except for this summer that my mom passed away. I love that book. That's probably my favorite book out of all books. And you know, I want to be the main character. I just want to be Penelope. And I think about that every day when I'm being a lazy sloth. Is this what Penelope would do? I mean, I love that book. Always have, always will. If you haven't read it, by Rosamunde Pilcher, pick it up. It's a beautiful book. And then I snuck another one in. Someone had posted that they were reading this book because they'd had it for a long time and it didn't have a really great title, but it was called Granny the Pag. And the picture on the front cover was this older woman in a black leather jacket smoking a cigarette with goggles on her head, leaning on her motorcycle. And I don't drive a motorcycle, I ride with my husband on a motorcycle, and I am a granny. And I was very intrigued, so I went on Amazon and picked it up, finished it in a day, and it was a good book. It was good. It's a shame that it's outdated and it's not going to get read by kids, but I'm going to recommend it because, you know, I thought it was a good book. So I surpassed my book goal, which is not hard for me to do anyway. I did not get to the beach yet. Goat yoga. I did get to goat yoga, and I can check that off my list. It was pretty neat. The goats were really cute, and it like I said in my previous post about goat yoga, there wasn't a lot of, if you have never done yoga before, you know, we didn't really do a lot because it was more about interacting with the goats and just doing a little bit of yoga. It was really, really hot, but I embraced the heat, and I just enjoyed it. And I don't know that I'll do it again, but I might do it with my daughter. I think it would be fun to do with my daughter. Yeah, I did it, and it was really cool. So I'm glad that I did it. And the last thing was to celebrate international holidays. I blogged about Dark and Stormy Day. And that was, you know, that was a lot of fun. And I indulged in Kissing Day with the hubs, and what else did I do? Iced Tea Day. So I did meet that bucket list challenge. Now let's talk about July, shall we? Because I have thought about what I'm going to do for July, and I'm putting that lose 4 pounds right back on there. And you know, oh, I know. Let me go back because I had one other thing on my bucket list, and that was to walk for 25 days, 1 mile for 25 days. I missed it by 1 day. The day that I did goat yoga, which was a hot and humid day, I came home and I was already sweaty, so I worked on clipping my rose bush and planting some things and filling up bird feeders and working in the yard, and I was a hot, grubby mess. And I was hot to the point where, you know, I wasn't really sweating so much anymore. So I went inside, got my shower, and I started working on editing some things and working on some things on the computer. And I just kind of, you know, I'll walk in the evening when it's a little bit cooler. And it got dark and I looked up and went, I just messed up my challenge. I forgot to walk. So I was very upset with myself. But I did walk 24 out of 25 days. And most of those days I clocked more than a mile. So as my friend said, you know, you're 96% there, I guess. So but anyway, I almost did it. So now I can talk about July. July is to lose 4 pounds. And I realized that walking a mile and what I'm doing this month didn't change anything. So, diet is next. I've got the walking down. Next is to work on the diet. And that means I'm going to dial into my macros, and I'm going to dial into my calories, and I'm going to plan my meals, and I'm going to eliminate foods that I know, because I've done the research, eliminate the things that do not benefit me whatsoever. I know that, you know, bread and sugar and things like that, your high glycemic carbs and sugar and things like that do not work with me. They just stay. It's like, you know, they're just what is it? They're squatters, and they've come to stay. So I've got to get rid of those, and I needed to take care of that. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to dial into my macros. My word for this year is double down, so it's time to double down. The next thing I'm going to do is add weights 3 times a week. Along with the diet and the walking, weight training is a wonderful thing for anyone, but especially us over 50, because we start to lose bone mass and our hormones kick in, and they do all kinds of fun things to our body, which I also think is one of the reasons why I didn't lose anything. So you got to help yourself. You know, my goal is when I'm 80 years old, my children aren't going to be able to keep up with me, and they're going to be mad about it. And if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to get there. So weight training needs to happen. And it needs to happen consistently. And consistency, that's one of the habits that, or being inconsistent is a bad habit that I'm going to work on breaking, because I know what I need to do, and this cycle of suck that I put myself in is because I will not consistently do what I know I need to do. And it's ridiculous. So I'm going to work on that. Let's see, 3 times a week. I'm going to be consistent. 31 days of walking, 31 days in July, 31 days of walking. So I'm going to make sure that it works for me. I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, I go for my walk, and then I come back and I do what I'm going to do for the day. And it's just a feeling of accomplishment right off the bat. And I'm lucky because right now I don't have anything else I'm doing, so I have time in the morning to walk. And if I want to meander, then I meander. And I'm loving every minute of it. I really am. So 31 days walking at least 1 mile a day. I was looking for types of challenges to do, and I found one called Index Card a Day. So it's actually a 100-day challenge, but you know, my motto is that I do what I want. So I'm going to do it for the month of July. I've got a stack of index cards, and every day in the month of July, you do art on a card. It could be found art, it could be drawing, it could be lists, it could be all kinds of things, whatever you want. But it just putting into practice doing some kind of art. And we have a room that we are working on, so my art stuff is all packed up in different places, and I've been using that as an excuse not to do anything, but I'm changing that. So it's called ICAD, Index Card a Day, and I'm going to do 1 a day for the month of July. And lastly, there are lots of great international holidays, lots of yummy international and national holidays in July. So I am going to pick at least 5 to celebrate, and I'm actually going to document the celebrating, which I didn't do last month. So that is my bucket list for July, and that's how my June bucket list went. Do you have a bucket list? Do you have any challenges you're doing for yourself in July? What are you up to? You know, let me know. Share in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed, that would be nice too. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Stay outrageous.